Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tolly Frimpong, and on this channel I document and share my financial freedom journey with you. If this is your first time here, thank you so much for stopping by. As I said, on this channel I document my financial freedom journey. I also talk about how to live your best life on a budget. So if that kind of content tickles your fancy, then please do stick around for this video and consider subscribing to my channel. And also, while you're here, why not give it a thumbs up and leave us a comment in this comment section below. So without further ado, I'm going to get into today's video talking you through my April 2020 budget in light of the current pandemic that is going on globally. Okay, so here we have my April 2020 budget. Oh, there's the subscribe button, so please do consider subscribing. I didn't realize that the screen recorder thing actually stays within the screen record, so excuse that little thing there on the corner above the subscribe button. But here's a picture of our April 2020 budget. So as you can see, we've got the income column. I've actually blacked out our income figures just for privacy's sake, but here you can see our 4 different streams of income. We've got my husband's work, overtime, deluxe crochet braid, which is my hairdressing side hustle, and then the Etsy store. So those are all our 4 side hustles, and those are 4 streams of income which we have for the month of April. So this is based on the income which we received in the month of March. So my husband's actually paid on a weekly basis. So what we do is we add up all the money we received in the previous month, so from the month of March, and that makes up our total which we have available to spend in April. Now I must admit, in March we overspent quite a bit, which means that the total for this month is a lot lower than it would have been if we didn't have to buy so much stuff during the whole pandemic. So as obviously the shops were getting empty, people were stockpiling, buying out the stores, we actually bought quite a bit as well. So in the month of March we overspent quite a bit, meaning that our income for April is a lot lower, but it's fine. We still have enough, which you'll see as I go through the rest of the budget. But this is basically our budget for the month of April. This is the income. You'll see it's actual numbers because we use money that we already have. So it's not like we're estimating this is money we're going to receive throughout the month. This is money we've already received from the previous month, which we're now going to use throughout the month of April. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so now let's dive into our expenses. So our expenses are divided up into a number of different categories. First up, we have our food category, and under food we have groceries. Now, don't be alarmed. I'm not going to starve my family for the month, and I'm not planning to feed the whole family on £50. Basically, we did a really big shop in March, obviously in the midst of all of what was happening last month with all the shops being sold out of things. We did a really big shop and we got enough supplies to last us through the month of April, so I won't have to be hitting the shops anytime soon. The only thing that I will need to buy is fresh produce, such as your fruit and veg and maybe things like bread, but I think £50 should be a nice buffer. Now, I didn't actually buy out the whole store. I wasn't one of those people that was buying all the loo rolls. I just wanted to give that side note, just in case people start coming for me in the comments saying I brought all the stuff from the shops. It wasn't that. I just brought enough so that we wouldn't have to keep heading out to the shops and we could just stay home and stay safe. So you'll see that I didn't actually make an allowance or budget for takeaways for the month of April, and that's obviously because in light of what's happening in the world right now, the country's on lockdown, so we won't be heading out to the shops anytime soon to buy any takeaways or anything like that. So I've not allocated any money to it this month. We're gonna have to enjoy my food at home for the whole month, so that's why takeaway is currently on 0. So the total budget for the month of April for food is just £50. Okay, so now we move on to the most expensive category on our expenses tracker. It's our home category, where we have our mortgage, which is £1,140 a month. So that's an expense which we have every single month, so that will need to be paid on time. So we've got the mortgage, and then we've got mortgage overpayments, which you'll see is 0. Before this month we were actually overpaying our mortgage by quite a bit every single month, but since we had to buy a car last month, we took money from our emergency fund to buy that new car, and we want to make sure we put that money back in our emergency fund before continuing with the mortgage overpayments, especially given what's going on in the world at the moment. We want to make sure that we have our family as financially secure as we're able to be, and to do that, we want to make sure that we have a 5-month emergency fund saved, and then we will be able to resume mortgage overpayment. So hopefully, yeah, fingers crossed, and God willing, we'll be able to continue doing that. Council tax has actually gone up actually. So our council tax used to be £127 a month, and it's gone up by about £7 a month. I put 135 because I couldn't find a letter which says the exact amount that it's gone up to, but I know it wasn't more than £135. So at least if I've put that in the budget, if we're under, that's fantastic. So there at the bottom you have the total for our home expenses, the mortgage, overpayments and council tax come up to a total of £1,275 a month. Okay, so next on the list we have utilities. Under utilities we have water, electricity and gas. Water is £35 a month, and electricity and gas are on zero, not because we don't plan to turn the lights on or have heating, but because we had already prepaid this in March. That was one of the things that we overspent on to ensure that we don't have to leave the house in the month of April. Okay, next up we have transport, and for the first time ever we've actually not allocated any money to transport for the month, and that's because we actually filled up the tank mid-March and the car still pretty much is on a full tank because we haven't driven much, and I don't think we'll be driving much in April given that we're currently on lockdown in the UK and we can't actually go anywhere. So that full tank of petrol should more than last throughout the month of April, which is great. So that's one big saving that we've made in the month of April. Also, we've got maintenance. So that's just anything related to the car. So if we suspect the tyres need to be done, that would be where we would allocate money there. Road tax and MOT, I could actually remove them from here because we do sinking funds for them so that we don't actually count them as a monthly bill because they're paid once a year. We just save up the money required for them and pay them in one go. So I should actually just delete those 2 rows. But parking is another one. When I go food shopping at the market, I tend to have to pay for parking there. So because we're not planning to go to the market this month, if we do need to go grocery shopping, it will literally just be me going to the supermarket to get a few top-ups, which I wouldn't need to pay for parking for. So parking shouldn't be an expense this month. And then other under that category would be things like paying for train to go anywhere or a parking ticket. So I did get a couple of parking fines this year, so they would go underneath the other tab, but I'm pleased to report I haven't had any fines, so there's no fines that need to be paid in the month of April. So overall, transport is costing us nothing in the month of April. So that's one good thing that's come out of this being on lockdown, I guess. Okay, so moving swiftly on to fun and entertainment. There's going to be no fun had in April, unfortunately, because everywhere is locked down and we can't go out. So we won't be going out and having fun, and we won't be spending any money on entertainment, which is fantastic because it just means more money that we'll be able to throw at savings. So in the month of April, we haven't put any money in the budget for fun money. But I guess if we did need to buy bits online or any kind of, I don't know, I can't think what I need to buy. Maybe if I need to buy extensions to do my hair or something, I would be able to take money out, and then it would just mean we'd have to balance the accounts at the end of the month. But for now, I haven't allocated any money to that category because I can't foresee actually needing to spend any money in this category during the month of April. Okay, so next on the list is insurance. So we have 3 types of insurance, obviously: car insurance, life insurance and home insurance. Now, car insurance, we pay that annually, which is why that's not on here, and that's actually a sinking fund, so I probably don't need to include that row in this table. But car insurance is paid on a yearly basis. Life insurance, that's for both myself and my husband, is £46 every month. And then home insurance, again, that is paid on an annual basis, which we have a sinking fund for. So I don't know if you guys actually want me to do a separate video on sinking funds. Do let me know and I can do that as a separate video, but I don't want this video to become ridiculously long, so I'll just stick to the budget in this video. And if you want me to do a second video on sinking funds, I'll be happy to do that. But £46 is the total we spend on a monthly basis on insurance. So next up we have our second biggest expense, and I'm so happy, this makes me really happy to report that for the month of April we've allocated 0 to childcare. And that's obviously, again, because everywhere's on lockdown, the nursery's closed, everywhere's shut down, so we don't have to pay for childcare in the month of April as the boys are at home with me. Okay, so next up we have miscellaneous. So under miscellaneous, that is basically any other additional costs and expenses that we have throughout the month that don't fit under any category. And £66 is how much we allocated. That's because we had a few costs that came up which didn't fit under any category. So we put it under miscellaneous and it's £66. And we don't envision it going above that throughout the rest of the month of April. So that's why we've left it as that amount. But we'll see how things go throughout the rest of the month. I'll actually probably do a mid-month budget check-in, so around week 2 of April, just to see how we're tracking against the budgeted numbers, which I'm showing you right now in this table. Okay, so that pretty much summarizes our expenses for the month. The only other tables or rows to talk you through are investments and savings, sinking funds, and a new row which I added, which is the emergency fund. So before this month you would have seen numbers actually in our investment and sinking fund rows, but because we're prioritizing getting our emergency fund back to the number it was before we bought a car last month, we're not putting any money into investment and savings and sinking funds until the emergency fund is back up to 5 months worth of money within it, and then we can go back to overpaying the mortgage and focusing on our investments and savings and sinking funds. So that's pretty much how our budget is looking for the month. So all the additional income that we have outside of all the additional income we have outside of all the expenses that we've budgeted for, that money is being put on our emergency fund. So for the month of April, that's £644.35, which will go straight towards the emergency fund for emergency funds payment for April. And then in May we'll do the same again and we'll keep doing that every month until the emergency fund is back to where we want it to be, and then we'll go back to mortgage overpayments and delete the emergency fund table, or row rather, from our budget table. And so then where you see grand expenses total, that is literally the total amount of our expenses, and when we do the maths correctly, all the expenses will equal the income minus the expenses will equal 0. So all the expenses added up should equal the amount from the total income at the top. So that's literally it. That's my April budget complete. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you do like this content, please do like, comment and subscribe. And if you do want to see a video with my sinking funds and how we set those all up, then please do let me know in the comment section below, and I'll definitely make that one for you. And I'll definitely check in with you guys in a couple of weeks, letting you know how our April is going and how we're tracking against the budget that we've set. If you'd also actually like to see my expenses tracker and how we actually track our outgoings on a day-by-day basis, let me know, because I can also share that with you guys. But that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this content, like I said, please do like, comment and subscribe, as it really does help with morale, and it also helps YouTube to push my content out to a lot more people. Sorry, just as I was closing off, my baby started crying, but let me quickly round up by saying, yeah, please do like, comment and subscribe to my channel. Tell a friend to tell a friend, and I will see you on my next video. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care. Bye.